Tell us where you think it falls short for North Melbourne and what you would have expected of your players.
Well, I mean, today was always going to be a challenge for us against Port Adelaide in form with their best available team out there on their home ground. There's no doubt about that. And we were, we came out with an attitude that we just got to have an almighty crack and really challenge them to defend us. And we were badly beaten around the ball earlier. We actually outnumbered at the stoppages early and we were 13-4 down halfway through the first quarter. So that part of it was really disappointing. But then there are things that are out of your control a little bit. We lost Hibberd in the first few minutes of the game. Then we lost Thompson to a 20-minute concussion test. We lost Higgins to a 20-minute concussion test. Then Wagner. So it was, using the guys' words on the bench, it was carnage there for a fair while. So our backline, other than really Robbie Tarrant there for a period, was unrecognisable. So there's some positives out of that. Wagner gets some experience down there. I thought Robbie Gray is a very, very good player, and I thought he was still okay. But I thought Nielsen did a fantastic job for a second game player on him. I think it ended up today being about, 9 players under 30 games, 6 under 10, something like that. So against the full strength Port Power, who played really well, it was going to be a challenge. And to their credit, they really challenged us. But at the end of the day, you don't have 88 tackles if you're not having a crack. So we kept working really hard to stay in the game, but Port were just too good.
So, Brad, you mentioned the numbers or the inexperience. Is that the path forward now? I know you've got a lot of injuries and that, but is that the path you've got to stick to for the rest of the year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll continue. I mean, it's a challenge to sort of find guys to come in at the moment, just because there aren't many there. But there are some guys that we'll continue to give opportunity to, perhaps before they're ready. I mean, I've always said that when we bring guys into the side, we want to make sure that we set them up to succeed, not to fail. But we've combined with where we're at, but also the injury list, there might be some guys we just need to throw in the deep end, as we have done with some guys who have never played defence before, and we're playing them down there on some pretty good players. So we'll continue to try and find the balance, and maybe we get some back from injury next week, but I'm not sure yet.
What about the deep end? What gave you the confidence to put Nielsen on Gray?
He's just a competitor. He's a real hard-nosed competitor, and he just hates being beaten. So he's got genuine speed and power for more of a key type defender. So we wanted to throw the challenge that we've often thrown to Scotty Thompson in the past, to be able to play on the really dangerous small forwards like Eddie Betts and Robbie Gray. And I thought he did a fantastic job, even though Gray still looked dangerous. I think he's always going to look dangerous.
In terms of dealing with that Port Adelaide midfield, how much did that challenge you in the box to know what you could do and not do?
In terms of, we changed things a bit at quarter time, but we were changing things within the first quarter, which was disappointing because, as I said, we outnumber at the contest and we're still getting beaten in there. So, structurally you can only continue to come up and outnumber, and then you lose your forward line completely. So, and if you do win it, you're kicking to nothing. So, we just had to change it up a little bit and then try and hang in for the rest of it. But Port have got some pretty dynamic players in there now, with the addition of Wingard on top of what they've already got.
Given the fact that you've lost 5 games by a kick and your long injury list, how would you describe your season so far? Has it just been frustrating, challenging, or in some ways encouraging for the future?
It's frustrating in the week to week, because we're all competitive and we want to win, and we want to play a style of footy that's going to challenge the best teams. But we've got to continue building a really strong platform and not jumping at shadows. There are some holes that we can potentially plug in the short term that are not going to help us in the long term. So we've got to set the club up for the future, and I think the platform is really solid. But when you're a bit off and you have a few injuries, you can get exposed with young guys, and we did today by a very good team.
Starting Majak Door in the ruck at the start of the second half and the third quarter, was that
Yep.
with Ryder was having his way over Goldstein, or was it more just to give Majak a go on the ball?
No, we played Dore and Goldstein really high game time once we were a couple of players down. So we didn't have a lot of choice. We had to get some interchange from somewhere. So we just rolled them over. Goldie played forward, Madge played in the ruck, and then swapped them over a bit.
How did you see the two performances, Dore and Goldstein?
I don't think that they would be overly enthused about the way they went, and they can. I thought Madge competed okay, got his hand to the ball in the ruck a fair bit. Goldie. I thought he tried hard, but he was pretty ineffective today. So we're going to have to continue to look at our tools to find a better mix in there.
So, Brad, when you get away, go Monday, review it all, what's the best approach to dealing with this game?
Like it always is, go through it with a fine-tooth comb.
When you say Goldie was pretty ineffective and might find a better mix, does that mean he might be out of the team for next week?
Well, Braden Prus is unavailable at the moment, so we're the cupboard's a bit empty at the moment. So, but I mean, Goldie's he's an A-grade player. He's just not playing at the level that he or we expect from him at the moment. So that's my job, to keep coaching him and getting back into form.
What was the injury to Wagner?
Ankle.
Yeah. So didn't play the rest of the game?
No.
Did Hibbert come in with a sore shoulder, or
Wagner?
no? Hibbert.
No. No, his shoulder's strapped because he's had previous shoulder operations, but no, he was 100% before the game today.
Do you know how bad that ankle and Hibbert's shoulder injury is at this stage?
No, just that the medical staff didn't want to take any further risk.
And other than that, obviously two guys' concussion tests are all good, so they're two injuries.
You can only assume that, yep.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Right, thanks.